Yeah. Yeah. What's up? What's good? What's popping? What's cracking? What's percolating? What's really good in the hood? It is your man Theo Butler. And yeah, I know me and my brother got a show going on later on and everything like that. But I ain't want to do all that over there and everything like that. We got to do it. You see, we got going on. No notification. No, I know. No notification. I pulled up. I was talking to my wife, and I was feeling good because I had did Fantastic Four, right? 607, 608. And just touched off Avengers versus X-Men issue 0. Lord have mercy. I've been mispronouncing words all day. Issue 0. And that got started off with a bang and everything. Like I said, you know what? It took a minute. It did. Lord have mercy. It took a minute. But if you've been rocking with me like I've been rocking with you, y'all remember when we started this journey? We started this journey a while ago, years ago. That's crazy. We started this journey years ago, and we started where? Where did we start off? We started off with Deadliest of the Species. Yeah, we did. We started off with Reginald Hudlin, Deadliest of the Species, and I know why we started off there. You might not know, but no, you rock with me like I'm rocking with you, you know, because there was quite a bit of confusion in regards to what did or didn't happen to T'Challa. Right. So we started off with Deadliest of the Species. That was Christopher Priest. Jonathan Mayberry came after that, right? Jonathan Mayberry came after that. David Liss. David Liss came after that. David Liss. Okay. And then we got Jonathan Hickman because he wrote them 2 issues of Fantastic Four. Right. And just now, Jason Aaron. Right. Now we know after Christopher Priest come Reginald Hudlin. Y'all stay with me now. Y'all stay with me. See if you're picking up what I'm putting down. You know, there's been a lot of stuff said about this particular character, and I wanted to review the comics. I started where I started from for a specific reason. They say T'Challa passed away in the comics. Clearly, that ain't what happened. Now, you know, the damnest thing is that quite a few people who kept saying he passed away in the comics to justify what transpired in the MCU, they not reading comic books, and they not checking out comic book reviews, nor are they even Googling to see whether or not they just saying whatever. And if you and I and you've been interacting with them, some of them even get mad and tell you, I'm not gonna look at it. I ain't never been that angry to just spread lies. I ain't never been that angry to spread lies. But let's think about Christopher Priest's run. We can go back before then, but let's start right there, because I think my brother Daryl, Be Real with D-Real, folks have asked him to review certain Black Panther story arcs, and we tag team back again. So we don't want to do double talk and everything like that. So Christopher Priest, let's stay right there. The client, you get T'Challa, bald-headed T'Challa. Everett Ross, don't know to this day why we needed Everett Ross to be the eyes and ears to Wakanda, to be the voice for the reader. I didn't need him. I don't need that. I don't know what, but hey, I get it. I understand it. I don't necessarily care for it, but hey, it is what it is. So you get Everett Ross, and Everett Ross is assigned as a U.S. Government worker, assigned to T'Challa. And who do we get in issue 1? With hair. We get Nakia, and we get Okoye. And some nice little red dresses. Put on your red dress. We get them. What else do we get in issue 1? Because we get the client and everything. Oh, Mephisto made a run. Mephisto made a run. We find out that Nakia is fiending for T'Challa. He got her fiending. Got her going crazy. She literally went crazy. Woo! We get a Kibe, right? Supposed to be the Joker. Big Chris. Big Priest. What you tried to do, they ain't do it for you, big dog. I'm here. I got some problems with what you wrote and how you wrote some stuff, but Akibe, they ain't do your character right. They ain't do your character right, but never mind. We got him at the house. We got him at the house. Who else do we get introduced to? Lady Nightshade. Y'all watch Netflix. Y'all saw her over there in Luke Cage season 2. Yeah, I know y'all like, damn, we was that close. We was that close. You had Lady Nightshade. She didn't interact with T'Challa. You had Luke Cage. He didn't interact with T'Challa. You had Misty Knight. She didn't, like, I'm looking, oh, the crew coming around real nice, ain't it? You could, if folks just would have just did what they was gonna do, we could have got Simone Missick. I think that's the young lady's name that played Misty Knight. We could have got Michael Coulter. That's the brother who played Luke Cage. Stay with me. I don't know if this would have worked. We'd have had Anthony Mackie. Oh, y'all like him. No, we wasn't that far away from the crew. We wasn't that far away from the crew at all. As a matter of fact, watch this. All three actors are still, all three of them still living. Now we got to recast T'Challa, and we got to get an Aurora, but we ain't that far off. So we had Lady Nightshade, right? Vibraxis, M'Baku, the Jabari tribe. Casper Cole, right? Casper Cole, last 12 issues and everything like that. Got that, right? Right. Question. I got more than one. Not tell them, say I ask a whole bunch of them. In Christopher Priest's run, because it's been certain things that's been said that we've heard out there in the ether and everything like that, and folks be looking at us like we stupid. But throughout Christopher Priest's run, can you tell me who the Black Panther was? I really want to say, until we got to the last 12 issues, I know what he said about he could write a story about Black Panther and T'Challa not be in it, but he ain't write them stories about nobody else when T'Challa was in it, aside from T'Challa as the Black Panther, right? In essence, because I'm trying to figure out. They say it's a mantle. But did Christopher Priest ever treat it like a mantle, or did he treat it like it belonged to T'Challa up until the last 12 issues? Yeah, I mean, we starting off this series here in a relationship with Monica Lynn. Yeah. It ain't no Aurora. It's Monica Lynn right here. Thus, we saying you can't say he mistreated Aurora on the Christopher Priest watch. You can't say that. You can't say Aurora wasn't written well on the Christopher Priest watch. That would be a lie. Can't say that. He was with Monica Lynn. He's with Monica Lynn. Then we get over to Reginald Hudlin, and that dude, considering who he is, his demeanor and everything like that, the fact that he created Shorty, so both his son and daughter. He's a daddy daughter, a daughter daddy. He got daughter, yeah. He created Shorty so both his son and daughter could dress up as his favorite character. Imagine this, Black Panther for Halloween. Now I have yet to cover, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Reginald Hudlin's entire run. But does anybody remember Reginald Hudlin writing Aurora in a disrespectful fashion? In any woman character for that matter. I could have missed it. I could have missed it. I could have missed it. I ain't see it though. I was looking. Because I want, T'Challa, Aurora, Super Baby, kind of like Reed and Sue. Which, if you looking at what Jonathan Hickman wrote in Fantastic Four, when the whole Future Foundation pulled up to Wakanda, will clearly Reed and T'Challa like that. And Shorty broke off some herb for Aurora and Sue. She did. She broke them off and said, hey, y'all gonna come with me? Like, yeah, we got you back. Say less. So I'm saying, like, there's a relationship there between those three women, no differently than there's a relationship between those two men that really ain't being explored. Like, I'm believing Jonathan Hickman wanted that thing explored. Like, I don't believe it's a lot of meat on the bone. A lot of meat on the bone. It's a lot of meat on the bone. That said, I was looking for it, but I ain't see it. Now, what I will say is this, and we don't need to act like this. We ain't seen heroes go through this. I remember Aurora being in Wakanda. I remember Doom effing with the alchemy fields. They wasn't producing nothing. I remember that. I remember Aurora using her powers, right? Her elemental powers to stimulate the growth of the alchemy fields. But because of what Doom had done, I remember what happened. It didn't work. I remember somebody throwing a can at Aurora. I do. I remember Aurora about to snap. I do. I remember all that. That ain't that much, considering how long she was actually interacting with T'Challa. And I get it. I get it. Some folks gonna say, hey, Theo, well, when Doom pulled up, Doom captured her. That wouldn't be his first time capturing her. Whether she was in Wakanda, whether she was in Newark, New Jersey, whether she was at Xavier Mansion, did not matter. He didn't call all them slipping at one time. And this is Doom. I'm saying one more time. This is Doom. She ain't getting caught by just any and every damn body. No, this Doom. He got a little respect on his name. That's all I'm saying. He got a little bit. He got a little bit of respect on his name. You saw Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. He kidnapped Sue and Janet, and he ain't do it sneakily. No, he pulled up. Like, hey, I need them too. They tried to stop him, the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. He's like, no, I'm trying to see something. And he pieced out. So we don't need to act like that. So that would be Reginald Hudlin. That would also cover Jonathan Mayberry. And if I get to David Liss, because I did, well, she ain't get written like a victim there. I'm trying to figure out when T'Challa disrespected her, because I got writers. I got writers actually saying that. And I'm trying to figure out, I know where I live at, and I know where you live at. Is the wording in the comic books different here than it is there? They changed the artwork from here to there, because you telling me some stuff I ain't seen here. And I ain't the only one that ain't seen it here, but based on who you are, I'm looking for it. And I can't find it. No, I'm honestly looking. In this particular instance, I'm looking to be proven wrong, that I want to prove the people right who said Aurora was miswritten when, as long as she was in a comic book with T'Challa, and I'm failing. I can go online and ask for specific issues and titles, and I don't get them. That's crazy, because I done asked writers and readers and editors that like to say stuff like that, and nobody can give me the title nor the issue number in which Aurora alongside T'Challa is being mistreated. That said, I got the David Liss run. I got Aurora actually saving T'Challa, which, do we know how many times she done saved this dude? Like, we come in on the Reginald Hudlin run. She got to save him. Okay. Jonathan Mayberry. T'Challa like, hey, I got to take care of my nation and everything like that. Still get her loose, though. Right. We get over to David Liss. What happened? She got to save him. She got to save it. So I didn't went, I apologize for it taking so long. I didn't went from Deadliest of the Species to Avengers versus X-Men. And I ain't trying to be funny, but the truth of the matter, because somebody gonna have to show me something else, and that's the damnedest thing of it all. If T'Challa ain't in it, you can't say she was in a comic book with T'Challa and he mistreated her. But I know, based on from Reginald Hudlin to Jason Aaron, she ain't been written like that. She ain't. Now, unless we gonna say Avengers versus X-Men, Theo, you remember when I remember. That's why I'm covering this story arc right now. You notice neither one of them popped up in the first issue. No, this is supposed to be a Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, Hope Summers story. This really should not have anything to do with them two. But if you rock with me like I'm rocking with you, this would be the time frame they said cross promotion had T'Challa not popping up in his own comic book. Even though Soul of the Machine is out there, and I'm going to go out there and look and see what, because I think it's like 5 issues, see what year Black Panther Soul of the Machine came out. But nevertheless, I'm looking at these stories. I've heard the complaints. I, along with my brother, have interviewed people who have made some damning statements about the relationship between T'Challa and Aurora. I ain't seen it. I ain't read it. I got all those comic book reviews out there. I ain't leaving nothing out. I'm not. All I got is, for whatever reason, even though they do not physically interact with one another in this series, without talking to his wife, you know, the dude is acting like he kind of nervous being around her and everything like that, uncharacteristically so, that dude annulled their marriage, divorced him. He said he was the high priest. I get it. I understand it. But this is when I'm looking at Jason Aaron. I'm like, so you didn't read Reginald Hudlin's run? Because he was the high priest then. He was the high priest. What's going on, Juju? My fellow devil dog is in the building. He was the high priest then. Did he have the power to wed him and Aurora, or did he have to go to Bast? He had to go to Bast and get her approval. He was the high priest as the Black Panther. He's the high priest. Well, he was the high priest then. He couldn't just get married to Aurora. Hey, Jason. Kind of screwed the pooch on this one, but I like it. This is a mulligan for fans of Black Panther, T'Challa, right? Well, if he had to get Bast's permission to marry Aurora, he would have had to get Bast's permission for him and Aurora no longer to be together. And he ain't got it like that. He can't just wed her dolo solo and then turn around and divorce her dolo solo. No, Mr. Aaron, that don't make sense. And you never had them physically interact. He didn't put hands on her. She didn't use her abilities on him. So what they so mad about? Now, Mother Mind said I'm not the only one that noticed that, because we then have, and folks like to make certain comments. I'd be like, I would just like for you to sit back and look. You then have Ta-Nehisi Coates come in. Shout out to you, Mr. Coates. I appreciate everything that you did. Ta-Nehisi Coates comes in, and he really ain't giving two damns about what Jason Aaron got going on. Other than the fact he's respecting the fact that Jason Aaron's divorced him. Now, we don't see the divorce ceremony. We did see the wedding ceremony done, written excellently well, drawn excellently well by Reginald Hudlin. We never saw the divorce proceedings take place, but we know what was being said. So I have to ask the question, what was going on? Because they didn't get together until Reginald Hudlin. What was so wrong about how they were written in Reginald Hudlin's run as a couple, Jonathan Mayberry's run, and David Liss run? Because I need us to understand the writers that wrote them while they were together. Reginald Hudlin, Jonathan Mayberry, Jonathan Hickman, and David Liss. I challenge you to go find any stories that those gentlemen wrote where Aurora was written in a disrespectful fashion and compared to T'Challa. Now I'm looking at a certain writer, I'm like, guy, to me, integrity means a lot. And I ain't going off no assumptions. I ain't going off of what I thought, and I ain't going off what I feel. I'm going off what I read. And going off what I'm reading, what I've read, what I regurgitated, what I reviewed, there are quite a few people in the comic book industry that have no problem lying on fictional characters. That's crazy. That's crazy in and of itself. But as we continue these stories, because now see, here's the problem right here. I'm going back, double checking, saying, oh, I could be wrong. But the closer I get to current time frame, there is no story out there where T'Challa disrespected Aurora. Because I checked both of them characters. I checked for both of them characters. And I ain't the only one. So that means somebody lying. The only way you can tell me that, you got to hope I find it in Christopher Priest's run. I know that ain't Reginald Hudlin's run. And T'Challa don't pop up in X-Men comic books like that. He don't. Here's what the problem is. And actually, those that have a problem with Aurora and T'Challa low-key told on themselves already. We just weren't paying attention. Aurora can't really be in an X-Men comic book as long as she's with T'Challa. That's what you want. You need the African goddess in T'Challa in X-Men comic books to keep a certain demographic interested in X-Men comic books, because aside from Aurora, you're not using anybody else that looks like her. But now a T'Challa and a Black Panther, I'm sorry, a Storm Black Panther comic book, Black Panther Storm, T'Challa and Aurora, or you can put both of them in the same comic book as husband and wife, because that's what's going on over in the Fantastic Four. Sue and Rita in the same comic book. But then that would remove Aurora from the X-Men. Well, I know how I feel about people lying and everything like that, but let's be honest. The dude that's writing her right now is the dude who's responsible for elevating her in way. I can disagree with what he got going on, and I've told him. But truth be told, He's the only one that's elevated her to God status. With all this other stuff going around, Aurora been a member of the X-Men for the longest damn time and ain't ever been written like he writing her. Oh no, he putting stank on her name. Oh no, she ain't lost her powers. She ain't got to cut her hair and dress like she a punk rocker. And I'm saying to myself, that clearly was not a decision of somebody of color for her to be a punk rocker with a damn mohawk. Clearly that wasn't. All that African influenced music, and she wants to be a punk rocker. Stop it. That's what the problem is. You need Aurora to be a part of the X-Men, whether she's in a solo title. In low key, you don't want her in a solo title because you need her in your team book. For your team book, because quite a few of your team. Hey, Tom, what's going on? Quite a few of your team books are failing. We're not going to sit up here and act like that. No, Aurora is hurt. But if Aurora walks away from the X-Men, that's a loss. That's a loss. But why is she there? Because she's supposed to be a character that represents me. Is she a character that represents me and my demographic, or is she a character that just looks like me and my demographic? If she's a character that represents me and my demographic, then at the very least, she's checking for a brother. She from Harlem and was raised in Africa. She not checking for nobody that's not a brother or sister. She not. That's our culture. But we're not the ones writing her. You know, even in the comic book, we not checking for her. Who does she keep around her all the time? The majority of the time. He gets it. Us. That's who she hanging out with. She hanging out with us. That's a cultural thing. She ain't got nothing in common with Scott. And contrary to popular belief, she ain't got nothing in common with that mutt. She don't. He's a filthy animal. That's a whole goddess. You cannot conflate the two. You can't. You can't. You're not gonna do that. So we're gonna keep the party moving. D Steezle, Rock With Me Nation moderator, has pulled up in the building. What's going on, bro? We gonna keep the party going. We absolutely are. We gonna keep moving right along, covering Avengers versus X-Men. We got the Zero issue and everything like that. The wheels on the bus go round and round, as we used to say back in the day when Jerome Bettis played for the Steelers. So we gonna keep this going. We got Avengers versus X-Men Zero. I say this, and I hope you hold on to it. If you've been rocking with me, like I've been rocking with you, I've been reviewing Black Panther content. Reviewing it to get the truth out there. We heard a lot after Chadwick Boseman passed away. What happened with the character in the comics? How that person got treated? How that character got treated? Well, here we are. It's 2025. I apologize for it taking so long, but we reviewed comics all the way from Deadliest of the Species to Avengers versus X-Men. I'm sorry, yeah, Avengers versus X-Men. And here's what I can tell you if I'm looking at the relationship, the character of T'Challa and Aurora. Is their relationship perfect? No. T'Challa is stubborn. He is stubborn. And he's a king. As a king, he don't put anybody before his country. Some folks might feel some type of way about that, but as a king or queen, you're not supposed to. His relationship with Aurora, I've never seen him read anywhere he disrespected her. Did not give two damns about her. I ain't read that. I saw where she was captured by Doom. But if you are a comic book fan, that wasn't her first time being captured by Doom. No, that ain't what that is. And the dude that she got captured by was Dr. Doom. This ain't no pushover. So it's damn. And that was the same dude that wanted to delete T'Challa's mother. Sion wound up taking the pew for that. I don't know how Sion wasn't good enough to be in any Black Panther movie, but I digress. But we get the Jonathan Mayberry run. We see that. We get Doom War. We read that. We get Man Without Fear. She checking for him. He don't want her to come because he like, I got to do this on my own. We finally get David Liss run. Most Dangerous Man Alive. The Kingpin. So we didn't see this dude take on. Come on now. We didn't see, and I Jonathan Mayberry still ain't told me nothing. Shout out to Juju. Yeah, T'Challa is completely OP. You've heard me say that before. He never lost the abilities from the previous Panther God. He just went to Bast and said he wanted to be the Black Panther again of Wakanda. But them abilities that he got from the Panther God on the Jonathan Mayberry, oh, them abilities still sitting right there. I didn't read it. Ain't nothing ain't none of that. So then he goes become the king of the dead. And you're right, Juju. He shouldn't be losing to nobody. All the knowledge, all the abilities, all the strength. Oh, no, you ain't losing nobody. You ain't losing nobody. But anyway, we get Craven. Before Craven, we got Vlad the Impaler. You got Craven. Then you got the Kingpin. And with the Kingpin, you got Lady Bullseye and you got Typhoid Mary. And let them tell it, he had, like I said, let them tell it, he had no abilities. Here's what I believe transpired during the story. I believe when he went to the other Panther God, the unknown Panther God, the abilities that he got weren't on par with what Bass would have gave him. But let's remember this, because this ain't went away either. T'Challa has tattoos all over his body. You can't see them, but they're mystical in nature. So what does that mean? That means the next writer that writes him, he's resistant to magic. I didn't write that. That's Jonathan Mayberry. Ain't nobody done anything with that. All right, so we got David Liss. David Liss is right now, boy, doing some superhuman stuff. Right? Then we get Jonathan Hickman. He's in Wakanda, looking fresh to death. Him and Aurora pulls up in Necropolis, becomes the king of the dead. We see Aurora. She ain't really got no speaking part in there, but she ain't getting mistreated either. So we get to Avengers versus X-Men. Like I said, if you have the series, I would suggest rereading it. Not just reading the words, but looking at the pictures, because it's all supposed to tell a complete story. I would challenge you that when you read that story, the complete story or the comic book reviews, whatever, I would challenge you to validate the T'Challa and Aurora not being married. I would challenge you to validate that. Going back off of what Reginald Hudlin wrote, what Tiny Hesse Coates low-key tried to do, which is low-key what I believe Dr. Eve Ewing tried to do, ignore what the previous writer did, because they're like, that's bull. We got King Cam. He's ancient god status on Egyptian nature. Yeah. You not messing with that dude? What is going on, D. Steezle? Storm ain't punk. She's R&B, jazz, Afro beats, etc. Absolutely right. Thank you so much, King Cam. Y'all make sure y'all go check out King Cam's Jumbo podcast. Brother always dropping knowledge and everything. And we really need that, because if you don't know where you come from, you lost. And quite a few of us like to act like something, and that's all it is, an act. Go check out his Ujamba podcast. Get that knowledge. If you ain't getting it on your own, you ain't doing research on your own, give yourself some time to go check out his videos. Nothing but informative. Nothing but informative. Let me keep up with these notes. I'm going to get on up out of here. It's 8:10. We came in here for a good time, not to be confused with a long time. I really just wanted to recount. I felt passionate about doing this video. Folks lie. Now, here's what I don't understand. Why? What for? Why lie when it can easily be researched. Now, I don't know how many years I covered, started from Deadliest of the Species, getting to Avengers versus X-Men. But I would ask each and every person that went above and beyond to say she's mistreated when she's with T'Challa. She's not written properly when she's with T'Challa. T'Challa disrespects her as a character. I would challenge each and every last one of you that have said that to produce the evidence. Move T'Challa and Aurora off to the side. It's just a mantle. That's the biggest trash I've ever heard. That's the biggest load of trash I've ever heard from so-called comic book reviewers. Here we are, Deadliest of the Species. That's Shorty. You got that. But how many issues did Reginald Hudlin run right first? Right. Who was the primary Black Panther in that run? You call yourself a comic book something, then you know who it was. It was T'Challa and Shorty. Kevin wasn't blessed by Bass, and you know that. But you call yourself comic book something. Well, what other Black Panther showed up in Christopher Priest's run? T'Challa. Who showed up in Reginald Hudlin's run? T'Challa and Shorty. Who showed up in Jonathan Mayberry's run? T'Challa and Shorty. Who showed up in Doom War? T'Challa and Shorty. Who showed up in Claws of the Panther? Shorty. Who showed up in Black Panther, Man Without Fear? T'Challa. Who showed up in Black Panther, Most Dangerous Man Alive? T'Challa. Who showed up in Fantastic Four, written by Jonathan Hickman? T'Challa and Shorty. 2 issues. What happens at the end of that 2-issue run? T'Challa becomes the Black Panther of Necropolis, i.e. the King of the Dead. Where's this mantle stuff at? Because I've seen and heard way too many credible comic book reviewers lie. Lie for what? If I'm a reader and I'm interested in Black Panther, tell me what story, but I want the story with Hunan. Tell me the comic I can go to read the story about Hunan the Black Panther. I'm waiting. Queen Takanda, because I don't want to read about T'Challa. I don't want to read about Shorty. I want to read about Queen Turkana. What comic book can I go to that I'm going to get a story about Queen Turkana? Her story, not nobody else's. Her story. She ain't talking to nobody else. She handling business as a Black Panther. What about Mamadou Fall? Where's that story at? What comic is it in that I can either A, go online and swipe to the left, or A, turn some pages? Where they at? So we got human beings that breathe air, red stuff pumping through their body that have no problem lying on fictional characters for clicks and likes. That's wild. That's wild. What you say, King Cam? We need to have you back on. Hey man, I'm always available. As my wife would say, I'm always here at the house. But that's crazy. That's crazy because the proof is in the pudding. Now, as I would tell my brother Dara, now I know why the association ain't there. Liars aren't going to associate with truth tellers. That's exactly what that is. Just a damn shame that you got to do it. What's even worse is me reviewing these comics, proving that you lied about the relationship between T'Challa and Aurora, proving that you lied about the mantle status of the Black Panther, because Jonathan Hickman say something completely different. Like I don't know if y'all read that on Fantastic Four 608. You see what Jonathan Hickman said? He didn't say it was just a mantle. I'm gonna be honest with you. I heard what the dude name. He don't even work at Marvel no more. What the name is? Nate Moore. I heard what Nate said. That's who am I trusting more when it comes to any comic book character? Nate Moore or Jonathan Hickman? Stay right there. I heard what Kevin Feige said. Who am I trusting more? Whose word am I taking first? Kevin Feige or Jonathan Hickman? Stay right there. Folks, I get it. Ryan Coogler, latest sexy flexy. Jordan Peele is out there too. Jordan Peele is out there too, and Spike Lee still living. So let's not act like Ryan Coogler is the only black writer, director out there. No, that's disrespectful. And that's one of the things that Chadwick both was talking about. It's more than him out there. But who am I listening to in regards to anything Black Panther related? Ryan Coogler or Jonathan Hickman? Who do I think know more and care more about T'Challa? Ryan Coogler, Nate Moore, Kevin Feige, that whole damn cast and crew, or Jonathan Hickman? I ain't trying. If we're talking big channels, that mental talk feels like corporate controlled fandom talking. Oh man. Because Fantastic Four 608. I chose you from the womb. You can't ask me to choose between me and my sister. I can and I will. I just pray to my goddess that everything gonna be all right. Well, if you're gonna pray to me, it's best you be kneeling when you do it. Who is this dude right here? I'm Reed Richards. What you doing here? That's my dog. Oh, so you here for him? Okay, so when I judge him, I'm judging you too. You sure you want to stick around? Yeah, that's my dog. Okay. You want to be a boy king and sit back on the throne? And I love when she said that. Thank you, Jonathan Hickman. Because I've heard so many folks say, we want him back on the throne. We want him back on the throne. Throne don't make a king. Neither does a crown. It's how you move. Thank you, Jonathan Hickman, for putting that out there like that so I could come back and cover. Yeah, T'Challa saying it. Well, I don't know. Well, no, I do know. I'm going to listen to Jonathan Hickman. You know, the dude who wrote Aurora being with child, T'Challa's child. That's why her mutant abilities was acting up. You know the dude that wrote that story that Marvel axed the editorial department? Yeah. You know, when Jean and Emma were going to realize that Aurora was pregnant with T'Challa's child? Yeah. Now, mind you, I got a story written by Reginald Hudlin, giant-sized Black Panther, where T'Challa and Aurora married with 2 boys and I believe 3 girls. And that story is written by Reginald Hudlin. Aurora's not disrespected in that one. So I'm waiting. I'm trying to get some information. Where is Aurora disrespected at? There's another story in which T'Challa and Aurora are with their grandchildren. Aurora ain't being written disrespectfully. As a matter of fact, T'Challa is lovingly talking about his wife. So I'm looking at certain folks. I'm not gonna call your name, but you are writers, you are editors, and you are comic book reviewers. You are. Some of y'all melanin, some of y'all not. But what you all have done is consistently lie. What for? What for? Now we know why the communication got cut off. Now we know why certain folks don't want to talk, because it's going to be a truth-telling situation. And we don't want to do that. We don't want the truth. We don't want to grow the reputation of Black characters. No. That's not necessarily what we want to do. What we want to do is grow the money in our pockets. First and foremost, that's not Black representation. That's not Black imagery. So, if we're talking big channel, LOL. Hickman was setting T'Challa up for his Illuminati squad in Secret War. Yeah, he didn't make King of the Dead up on a whim. He plays the long game. He did. Say their names. Y'all give it up one time. My elder, Mr. Smith, is in the building. Thank you so much for pulling it up. And honestly, it's for people like Mr. Smith that I do this for. It absolutely is. Folks that are busy, got 9-to-5 jobs, they favorite characters being lied on, and they can't really address it like they want to, even though they do want to. Well, I'm here. I cheer no fear. I'm a brother. I'm going to cover the brothers and sisters that are comic book characters. Whether I like them or not, that is what that is. I'm going to tell you what's going on with the characters, whether I like it or not. That's just what that is. It's about the culture. Well, the reason why I started with Deadliest of the Species, as I alluded to earlier, was because when Chadwick Boseman passed away, folks started lying. He died in the comics. He died in the comics. He died in the comics. They kept saying it. They kept saying it. And there was nobody out there noteworthy that said a damn thing. I think Winston Duke was the only one that said, well, he's still alive in the comics, so of course he's going to be recast. Nobody said anything. Nobody said his word. He died in the comics. We kept saying there were 2 Black Panthers out there, Shorty and T'Challa. T'Challa and Shorty. We bragged on it. Some folks didn't give 2 damns. There can only be one. I do not know to this day how folks that swear they Chadwick Boseman fans can keep sounding that alarm that there can only be one. I was so happy to come across David Liss run, and you saw finally, because I kept asking, y'all know T'Challa and Shirley both in New York at the same damn time. Like I said that. Claws of the Panther, she was in New York kicking the bobo with Spider-Man. He was already in Hell's Kitchen. Okay. Well, David Liss gave us T'Challa and Shirley. I like that. I absolutely like that. And what I will say is this, and I'm gonna end it right here. We can get Mr. and Mrs. Smith, no problem. I still remember that X-Men comic with Jean in her gray costume, in her green dress, yellow mask, holding hands with Scott as they were taking on the Imperial Guard. I remember that cover. I was living with my mother in New York at the time. Huge Toys R Us banner across the front. I remember when Scott would say to Jean, I love you, Jean. And she would say, and I, how did she say it? And I, you too, Scott, with all my heart. I was like, you can't tell that dude you love him. Like, damn, stop saying it like that. But we had love. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The love boat. I'm sorry. Had a flashback. We deserve that. We deserve that. That love, that union. Whether we're talking the sibling love between one another, siblings, or whether we're talking in love between parents and their children, whether we're talking in love between 2 people that are in love, we deserve that. We deserve that. We ain't got it. Folks been lying about it. The truth, they say the truth shall set you free. Well, we gonna keep reviewing these comics, putting the truth out there. You a Black Panther fan, come check them out. Just know, as it stands right now, everybody that had something disparaging to say about a mantle, they lied. Don't know why you a comic book expert and you lying, but they lied. Anybody that said Aurora was mistreated by T'Challa and or when she was with T'Challa, they lied too. Editor, writer, fan, they all lied. The question we need to start asking is why. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. I'm going to keep over these notes and I'm going to get on up out of here. Remember, me and my brother Dora, we vibing. We vibing tonight. We vibing. We vibing tonight, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you pull up. It's going to be a stone gas affair, honey. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. So listen, until then, go chill out, get what you gonna get. Make sure you scrape. I said scrape. When you pull up, till next time, in the meantime, between time, make sure you got them notifications on. Check your subscription. Make sure you subscribe. Folks be moving janky over here. Check your notification bell. If the notification bell on, hit it again. Make sure it's there. The subscription button, hit it again. Because I'm telling you, you ain't getting notifications for a reason. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. That said, I'm out. In memory of the late, great Don Cornelius and Chadwick Boseman. Until next time, I wish each and every last one of you love, peace, and so we out.